Overall, if you ask yourself about foreign companies doing business in Russia, you can divide them into three most common baskets. First basket would include companies that completely left Russian markets. They either shut down factories and offices or banned export of their goods and services. Ukrainian society is extremely grateful for such steps by those companies, because the waterfall of commercial sanctions helps us a lot in defending our nation against Russian military aggression. Commercial sanctions help Ukraine in two different ways. First way is very obvious. It decreases the income of Russian budget. When an international company abandons the Russian market, it also stops paying income taxes and therefore fulfilling the Russian budget. Also, because of the lack of proposed goods and services and because of layoffs of Russian citizens, such steps massively hurt consumption in Russia. Consumption taxes are also an exceptionally important source of income for the Russian budget. It is extremely important to cut off those sources because, unfortunately, today the Russian budget is used to buy and produce weapons and bombs that destroy Ukrainian cities. Budget is used to hire soldiers that kill civilians in Ukraine. In this context, the most important companies are those who have high income and pay high income taxes, and those who have a broad labor force directly in Russia. Another way commercial sanctions help Ukraine is by forming a new social agenda in Russia. A lot of voters in Russia are deeply concerned with worldwide brands leaving their markets. When you are banned from using social media, visiting restaurants, buying automobiles or clothes of known brands, you would definitely ask yourself, how have I got to that point? Why is this happening to me? What can I change? Should I vote for the government that destroyed the economy of my country? Should I try to protest against unreasonable and violent military aggression? These are all great examples of democracy that are well known in Western world. And actually, democracy is now delivered to Russia with the commercial sanctions. In this context, the most important companies are those with a broad client base in Russia. Unfortunately, we should admit that some companies are trying to balance sanctions with their commercial interests. These companies would represent the second basket. Great example here is popular statement about stopping investments in Russia. What does this actually mean? Well, this means that companies would not open factories and offices, but they are willing to continue their operational business in current working facilities. They don't stop production or export. They continue to pay income taxes to the Russian budget and enhance consumption. And definitely, could they do better? A lot of companies justify such partial steps by stating that their goods are vital for Russian citizens. And for the pharmaceutical industry, this argument could be viable, but it is also broadly used by other non-pharma FMCG companies. The overall response of the pharmaceutical industry was unexpected for many analysts. They actually found a way to implement sanctions and stay in compliance with ethical and medical standards. Some companies stopped clinical trials in Russia. Some companies stopped export of non-vital medical products. And some companies discontinued operations in local Russian facilities. And these examples can show us that if there is a will to do better, there is a way to do better. Another concern is the situation when a company has a broad product line and blocks the Russian market for only some of their products. It is especially common in the technology and internet segment. As a result, the company delivers public statement that is deeply concerned and it stops maintenance of some products, but in reality, it keeps 80% of its revenue stream from the region. These companies could also do better. And the third and the most cynic basket is filled with the companies that refused to leave the Russian market and decided to continue their operation on full scale. The funny thing here is that this cannot be justified by the type of economic activity, because we discussed even that the pharmaceutical industry found a way to adopt sanctions. So, unfortunately, we should state that these companies decided to sponsor the bloody Russian government in line with fulfilling personal commercial interests. Good question here is, what can we do to convince businesses to stop any activity in Russia? First of all, we should understand that any international business serves two groups. They serve their clients and, at least on paper, as well as their investors. What could clients do? Clients could abandon or decrease consumption of goods and services from companies that maintain their business activity in Russia, because such companies are not in line with ethical standards. Clients and their behavior also could be influenced by media resonance and social resonance. What could investors and shareholders do? They have power to state in letters to the board of directors and management about their positions. They could state that Russian assets are toxic, and continuation of business activity in Russia would violate current ESG standards, which are extremely crucial in modern investing. They could call management to stop any activity related to Russian Federation. And also, it is worth mentioning about government regulation. If any particular company in your country is still able to do business in Russia, well, something is wrong on the regulatory level. Regulators could also do better.